our little tap and drill project, which is right here. You can get a copy of that on the Learning Hub, and it's got some dimensions on there. One thing I wanted to point out on the dimensions over here is that this one right here where it says 4 inches, that's approximately 4 inches. Yours might not be exactly 4 inches when you get it. So unless you got a metal stretcher and it's less than 4 inches, you might have to do some calculation on here. But the center holes, this is going to be centered right on that 4 inches over here. And these ones over here, there's going to be 3 inch from center to center for these bigger holes right here, here, and here. 3 inches center to center this way, and 2 inches this way.
Is that the red? Yeah.
Alright, so we've got our piece ready. We're going to put a little bit of bluing paint on it. We're just going to put a light coat of bluing paint. Now, are we going to be okay painting onto that in the vise? Probably not, eh? Let's do it on a piece of paper. Okay, so now Ray's getting ready to make his scribe marks onto our piece that we're going to be drilling and tapping. Alright, so he's got a dimension on the caliper on there.
Yep. So we're going to try and get 0.459 on our caliper.
0.459 inches.
Inches.
Right.
So right now we got 0.458.
Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good.
And then we're going to go scribe that onto right there somewhere.
I don't know if I can zoom.
There we go.
Okay, that's not too bad for a zoom.
We'll do the same for this corner, because that's the same. And then same for this one.
How come it stopped? Okay, there we go. No, it's good. It's still good. The time's still ticking.
Okay.
Okay.
One more here. Okay.
All right.
And we're going to set this other one up for 49. We got to unlock it here.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go to 0.4965. Oh, missed it. 49.
Okay. There we go.
Bang on. Look at that.
Look at that.
Lock it in.
Fancy schmancy.
Lock the second mark. So that's where our now once we get that,
Got a straight edge?
center punch it. Actually,
Yeah.
I can straight edge.
Maybe use a straight.
It's gonna be hard to get the exact measurement of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because my vernier caliper is kind of on an angle. You know what I mean?
Well, can I make a suggestion?
Yep.
All right. No, I think that's good.
496 right there.
Okay.
Double check it with our caliper.
That's right.
That's too much. Lock it in. Yep, pretty much.
It's good. Oh yeah, measure twice, cut once, right?
Stick our square on there.
Yeah, ready.
First scribe of the day.
Beautiful. Oh, look at that. It looks very good. Maybe you can do that to the other ones as well, right?
Let's do it again. One more time.
Yeah, make sure it's nice and visible.
Yes. Look at that. What a line.
Beautiful. That is the best scribe I've seen today.
Yes, look at that line.
I know. Nice and visible.
Very.
So I guess you got a good mark on that thing now.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to flip it around and then do the same thing. On this side. Getting on. So now we're going to do our second scribe. If I hold it.
Just try to help you hold the other end without
Okay.
putting too much pressure on it.
Okay, ready.
Ready.
Look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful. That looks good.
2 scribe marks.
2 scribe marks. So
Doesn't
I just
look that
need-
even, but
it looks okay. Yeah, that looks okay. You could measure it, right? We could test it later, but maybe keep making your marks. How's it looking there?
pretty good. Getting
Wow.
our 4th scribe mark, and then we're ready to.
All right, then we can start. Then you're gonna do like the center point as well, right?
Yes. We're gonna go to the center punch after that. So now we've got those lines lined up. I won't even use a square. So I'm not sure if it's actually square. So put it back in the vise. Four marks. There we go. Scribe. Just double check this one here. So we're gonna go 0.4965. This marker here. Looks good. This mark that's ouched.
Okay, so so the only thing we're missing for a mark on there is our center point. How are we? So if this was 3 inches this way and 2 inches that way, where would the center line be between those 2 points? Like, you know, I guess you could take a line and you could scribe a line going from point to point this way and point to point that way, figure out where the intersection is, and then measure, and it should be halfway between here and here, and also halfway, in theory, right?
Yeah.
So that should be 3 inches, right? That 3 inches?
Slightly bigger, 3 point.
Okay. Three point
3.01.
3.01. That's within like 100th of an inch. That's not too bad. Okay, so
2.001. Slightly off. Good thing we're double checking.
well, remember that one of those lines is out, right? Did you measure to the right line? There is a like out by a difference of about a millimeter, because I made two etches on this side right over here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Right. So you maybe want to make sure you got it on the right line.
Where's your other one? No, this one's 2 bang on. Slightly small. Let's measure this. That's pretty much bang on 3. Bang on 3. It's really just out this way. How much is this? So we need to,
You might want to make a note where you're going to put the center punch
yeah.
at that point right there, right?
Yep. This side's the size of that. We gotta go 0.49. We gotta go more this way. Down. See, because if we take our 2, right? And we said it's 0.496, and I'm only getting to 0.485. That means I gotta go a little bit further on this.
Well, that seems to be the point right there then. So here, you're like 2.495 between this edge and here, right? Or this line and here. You should be 2.495 between there and there. At least your reference, it's the same, right? Okay.
You're pretty close.
Okay, I think you're good. So, I like the fact that you're being picky. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Okay.
Check on the camera. I'm only gonna cut this one string.
That's the idea.
I mean, I do have like 4 more pieces of it.
Just 4?
Just 4.
Oh no.
Let's just double check this one more time. Right there, bang on that thing. 3.4. Yep, 3.454 should be 459, which is pretty close. That's right. I want to get there. It's okay. It's a 1/4 inch bolt. Still gonna fit on me. That's going on. Okay.
Okay, good. So if you want to get your, how do you get your center point on there? How are you going to get your center point on there?
We're gonna get a center punch.
Oh, no, I guess you missed my point. So,
Punch the middle, right?
Yeah, the middle point right there. So what I'm going to do, well, you're getting a center punch, so I'm going to make a point right in the middle,
Okay.
right over there,
Yeah.
right there, like using the
Oh, the
scribe.
middle point. Yeah.
Yeah, the center point of the whole shooting match, right?
Yep.
I'm just
Center
going
to
to do a
center.
nice little scrape right here, make sure that that's okay, and also
The top one. Yeah.
that one.
Yep. Excuse me.
Top to you, bottom to me.
Bottom to me, top to.
Does that look good?
Yeah, that's good. That's perfect.
All right, so now I've got a point right there. We should be able to measure that, and it should be, what, 1 inch between there and there, and 1 inch between there and there, and then 2 inches, or no, inch and a half. Inch and a half, sorry. And that way we know that we're at center. I think I'm on the right line there. Does that look good to you?
About an inch.
Okay, let's see. I'll put,
Oh, it's 0.9.
I can see. So that's about 0.979 right there.
Yep.
Okay, and then this one right here. Which also, it's not quite.
Nope. Not quite.
Okay, so there's 0.99 between that line there. Oh, see, I think it's out.
It is out.
It is out. Okay. Well, it's a good thing that we're only scribing so far, because that's bad. That's really, really bad. You'd have been out by a whole millimeter. So, I think it's this. That's what it is. Probably the thickness of the scribe.
Yep. It's out by, what was it, 0.0.
Okay, you see the second mark that I've got in there? Okay. So I'm going to measure to that. Look at that. 0.98. 0.98. That's good. Okay, so when we take the center punch there, I'm just going to make a mark. It's not that scrapey looking one. I'm going to make a little mark with this arrow. Okay. So you know not to do this where it is right there. That's the center, not there. And that little millimeter can make a big difference. Okay. So I think we're good. I think we're ready to start punching.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to punch it here, or where do you want to punch it?
We can punch it out there. Bring it out there. We're going to the drill press soon, right?
Okay, let's go punch it out there. Sounds good. I'm going to bring some equipment like this. You want
So we're going to center punch this now. This is a center punch right here.
Okay.
We're going to take a ball peen hammer.
So make sure you eyeball it really, really, really close first, right? Make sure that the point is right on the intersection, right? Because you don't get a second chance with this. And hit it nice and clean and square, right? Don't just go tap, tap,
One
tap,
and done.
right? You got a good solid ball peen hammer, right? Which is the right tool, not a carpenter kind of hammer, but a ball peen hammer. And yeah, give it a good smack, right?
Yep. We're ready.
Ready? Watch your fingers, of course. There, that's good. Like what's bad is if somebody goes tap, 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 because then you get to make a whole bunch of holes in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, that looks good. All right, so let's do the other 4, right? Center one too while you're at it.
We do that one. There we go.
Okay, that looks really good. So, I guess now you can start drilling, eh? So, what size holes do you need? You need like 7/16. You went and looked at the index, right? And you figured out for the 1/4 inch NC. You needed a 7/16 drill bit.
Yeah, we should get.
Okay, first thing we're going to do is plug it in. So it's one of these fancy little sockets on here. So comes in over here. And then once you put it into the socket, you give it a little twist, right?
Yes.
And then it shouldn't pull out. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to put we're going to put a bit into the chuck, but before I put a bit into the chuck, I'm actually going to pull the plug out because I don't want to take that chance, right? Okay, so what bits do I need? Okay, so we need a 7/16 for the first one, right?
7/32.
7/32. But are we going to start with a 7/32? Don't we want to have a smaller bit as a pilot hole, right? We want to drill a pilot hole. So we have a smaller bit. Where's our chuck key? I forgot to ask. Oh, it's right here. Right? Here's our chuck key over here. And here's our chuck. Here's our putting it into the chuck. Over here, putting that bit on there. Spin it around a little bit before I tighten it up. Make sure that it's in straight. Right? Grab my chuck key. Notice it's not plugged in, so I don't get into trouble here. Okay. So now, that looks pretty good. And okay, am I at the right height? Am I going to be able to get all the way through my piece with this setting? That looks pretty good. All right, so that's pretty good. So what we need to do now is we're going to line it up. Now, what did you say? It was the one on the right, right?
This now would be on your left.
The one on the left.
Yeah, if you're looking at it this way now.
I think, okay, the one on my left.
On your left.
Okay.
Yep, no.
I want to make sure my eyes aren't 100%. So I'm going to have to take that. I haven't put my, it's not plugged in, so I'm not going to hurt my safety glasses off here, so they're getting steamy.
Do you want a C-clamp?
No, it's okay. That's pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty good. Now, what else I'm going to do is always wear a face shield when you're using one of these machines. And that's handy. So whoever had this on last had a really sharp head. Okay, so I'm going to plug this in. Okay, plug it in like this. Got my cutting oil, right? Cutting oil. Okay, safety glasses. I'm going to put them on right here. And now, how do I turn this thing on? I have to make sure that first of all that I'm still lined up. The nice thing about the center punch idea that we just did, if you go and you drill a hole without doing a center punch, it's not going to go in the right spot. Okay, and like Ray was saying earlier, measure twice, cut once, right?
Yes, always.
Always. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on there. It's probably a little bit too much oil. And here we go, start. Looks like we've got about the right speed in there. Maybe we should show the folks at home. How do you change the speed on here? Again, always unplug it before you do that. And how do you change the speed? Right up here. If I wanted to go faster, for instance, I would move this belt up here like this, all the way to the top, and then this belt over here to the top as well. Now, is that going to make it? How does that make it faster? For every probably one revolution of this on this side is going to make it spin 4 times on this side over here, or maybe it's 2 to 1. I don't know. I'd have to do the math. So let's just check that out. I don't know if you saw how fast it was going before, but now is it going to go faster or slower? It's not going to go very fast at all until I plug it in. Alright, so now, here with this guard down, let's take a look. You can see it's going a lot faster. It's just giving her, right? Okay, so I'm going to put it back. I don't want to go that fast. Why did I put the guard down before I turned it on is because, well, what happens if that belt broke off right then and there? It probably would have smacked me in the head. Okay, so again, I'm just going to put the belt back. You don't have to take the belt right off to do this. Just go one pulley at a time. Right? And then it goes back onto here. Of course, as what you need to do, let's go one at a time. Dummy. There we go. Sometimes it takes a minute. Okay, that looks pretty good. So the belt's on both sides. The belt condition seems to be okay. So anyways, now should be able to start it. And it's not going too fast. See, if it's going too fast, I'll probably break the bit. Right? I don't want to do that because then I'll be here all day. Okay, we go in kind of slow. I don't want to go too fast. Let the drill bit do the work, right? I know I'm through when all of a sudden wood chips will start coming up. There we go. See, I'm all the way through. You can see wood chips on it. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop it. See if I can clean that up a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Board?
Not yet. I'm just tightening this shit a little bit.
There you go. Okay, so you got your own fancy face shield.
Yeah, I forgot I had these ones.
Those are better. Yeah, that one is pretty scratched. All right, so okay, so I can. What's the matter? You don't like the way the platform is set up?
It's a little bit low.
Wow.
I like it a bit high.
Well, I am shorter than you. I'm closer to the ground, so.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, it's recording.
Alright, so we're on our third hole.
We're in our third hole, yeah.
Aimed. Gonna give it some cutting oil. Hit the start button. Is there a special name for these little pieces that come out? I can't remember.
Oh, there is a name.
Filings? No?
Oh, no, it's not filings. There's a fancy name. You know what?
Well, whatever those cutouts are, we try to keep them under an inch.
Yeah, okay.
little bit more
What
cutting
do you mean
oil.
you can't? Okay, now I gotta look.
Yeah, there's a funny name for it. I can't remember.
I know there's a funny name for it. What to call
Anyways,
curly stuff that comes out when drilling a hole?
there we go. We are all done.
Comes out.
To the next drill bit size.
Yeah, so go to the next drill bit side.
So we're going to unplug again, power off, loosen our chuck.
I know there's a word for it, so I'm finding it. You're offline. It's saying I'm offline. Okay, hang on. Hey Google, what do you call the things that come out when you're drilling a hole? Still doesn't do it. We suck.
Alright. Turn the truck back up. This is our 7/32 drill bit. I'm going to go with our first hole, line it up, put some oil, and plug back in. Hit the start. There we go, that's one. Stop. Line up our second hole. Oil. Start. Stop. Line up our third hole. Oil the bit. Start. Done. Stop. And our fourth and last hole. We're going to line it up. Bang on. Oil. Start. Lift the bit off of there. And we're done. Look at that. So, let's clean up our little mess and we're on to tapping.
Awesome.
We're recording right now?
Okay, so yeah, you're recording. So look, always clean up your mess, folks.
Yes.
Right? And don't use your hands when you're cleaning this up. Definitely use this little brush. Don't even use a glove, because all those little pieces, those little swarfs, they're going to stick in your hand and cause you to have a metal sliver, which is never fun. All right?
So we're going to power off.
All right. So we're done drilling for now. I guess you're going to change the bit, right?
Yeah. We need to drill that center hole actually.
Okay. The center has already been punched though.
Yes.
You're really good at this.
Really good at drilling and tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a essential skill for any trade.
Well, I would say that it almost, you know what I mean? Like a crappy tradesman won't take the time, right? Doesn't care what it looks like. Doesn't, like, that might do a shitty job and then try to cover it up later. You know what I mean? Doesn't care what it looks like. And then this is something where you have to be precise, right? Your measurements have to be precise. There's no one's going to do it for you, right? And so it really does. So is that the right drill size for the next one up, or did you want to drill a pilot hole first?
Yeah, this is the number 10. So for a number 10 screw, you would need a 5/32.
A 532. So why don't you use?
You still want a pilot hole for this one?
Yeah, I would use a pilot hole. Definitely use a pilot hole. Okay. I like, you know, even that first bit that we had in there for the pilot hole, that's probably okay. You know what I mean? As long as it's smaller, right? And I don't know where that bit was. Did it go back in here? It's over here. Okay. Yeah, I would definitely use make a pilot hole because it's just good practice.
Alright, and you're back in the small bits.
Yeah.
We'll line it up again to our center punched hole. Bam.
Man, you're good, eh?
Give it some oil.
Okay, so now I can record again. So we're plugged in.
We're plugged in. We're
Okay.
back on our pilot hole. We're going to drill our 5/32 for our number 10 screw.
Okay.
Here we go. We're all lined up.
Make
This
sure
is
you
start.
flip here. Hey. Yeah, there you
And we're going.
go. You know, one thing that would be an improvement, and it's not really that bad right now because we've got so much light from the outside and you got ambient light in there. But a little lamp right there that so you could see that the piece that you're working on, that might be helpful. I don't know, it's not that big of a deal, just saying. Some people do that. So you're all the way through already? Beautiful. So you're gonna change the bit?
Yes. We're going to clean this up just a little bit.
Beautiful, yeah, that's right. Keep it clean, don't use your hands, definitely.
Unplug. So
Yeah, unplug the bit, that way you won't hurt yourself for sure. It might not be that big of a deal for this one because your switches, it's a hand switch that turns this thing on and off, but a lot of times they're often operated by a pedal, a foot pedal, so that you can use two hands when you're using the drill press. It's drill press. It's sort of like what they call a dead man switch. As soon as you take your foot off the foot pedal, the drill press starts turning. But there's potential for accidents in there that you could be changing the bit out and then press the drill pedal, right? And then next thing you know, your hand gets caught in a rotating chuck, and you know it could hurt.
Yes. But with the plug out, there'll be no way of energizing.
With no way of energizing it. So you're in full control at that point. It's almost like you're locked out.
Pretty much. All right.
All
We
right.
got our 5/32 bit on there.
Okay.
We're gonna oil.
A little bit of oil.
Turn it on. You want to keep these dwarfs pretty short. Oh. There we go.
And that was easy, eh?
Right through.
Right through. The oil helps, right? Using the things that help with this is using a sharp bit. Definitely using a sharp bit, but it's not can't be too sharp. I think it's what, 118 degrees. Is that what it is? 118 degree angle on the top point of the bit, and yeah, but you got to definitely use a sharp bit. If your bits start getting really dull, you might as well just throw them away. Or you can buy, we have one here, you can buy a bit sharpener. It's almost like a pencil sharpener.
Yeah.
Where you can resharpen your bits.
Yes.
Some people are good enough to do them on a wheel grinder. I can do them on a wheel grinder, but it's not the best way to do it. because obviously you can, if you're not holding the bit correctly, it can go flying out and poke you in the eye or something bad like that.
Yes.
All right, so I think we're pretty good for the drill press now, right? Before we leave it, we should probably unplug it, clean it up. Think of the next person that's going to come in and use this, right?
Yes.
That's it. So the next person could be you, not necessarily you. Okay, so I'm going to go like... All right, so we've got our tapping wrench over here. I'm going to put our tap, so this is going to be a 1/4 inch, our 1/4 inch tap right here. This one's a tapered tap. You can see that it's got a taper on it. Gets started right there, and then by the time you get through here, you've got a full thread going through. So the idea here is we're going to try to take this all the way through the hole. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is put a little bit of oil on there. I'm going to put my gloves on because I don't want to get any stuff on me. And then when I stick it in, make sure that it's up and down. And just go nice and slow, go back, go half a turn, go back a 1/4. Okay, get those swarfs out of there. And after a while you start feeling that you're actually making some thread. It'll be a little bit harder to turn. Like, go make a half a turn, go back a 1/4. The idea for that is to break off the swarfs that are being built up. Okay, I'm also going to put a little bit of oil right in there. A little bit of oil helps lubricate and cool as you're tapping, because it can get a little hot. You're making some friction in there. Some people just use a drill bit for this, or a drill. I don't recommend that, especially when you're going through thicker steel like this one right here. It's a 1/4 inch steel. It's very easy to break these taps. Very, very easy to break them. Okay. Oop. Looks like I should tighten that up a little bit. I can feel like I've got through part of the way, but I'm still, part of the tapered part of the thread is still working its way through the piece. And once I get all the way through, it'll be a lot easier to thread. Won't feel hardly any pressure at all. Almost through. Almost through. Okay, I'm all the way through. So I'm just going to screw the tap all the way through, make sure that the threads are nice and clean, and then I'll back it out. All right. That was easy, eh?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, piece of cake, right?
Oh yeah.
Should be. All right, and it's nice and clean. Okay, take a look at that. Oops, that wasn't very smart. There we go. Making sure that it's nice and clean. Put it back in. Put a little bit of oil on it again. And start another hole. Okay, again. Go nice and slow at first, just to make sure that you don't start off where it's wrong. And because it's tapered, it'll find its way in. Okay. Okay. It's not liking that. A little bit of oil. Oil is your friend.
Half a turn, 1/4 back.
Yeah, about that. Half a turn, 1/4 back. That's right. So it seems like it's taken a long time. It's because you should be taking your time doing this. One of the bad things that you could be doing if you go too fast is you could break this. And if you broke one of these taps off and it's halfway through the thread, good luck getting it out. You might as well just start over and get a new piece, because they're hard. Okay, there we go. And they're hard, so you try drilling that out after it's broke off in there, good luck.
You have to go to the next size up.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you'd ever get it out. It's pretty hard to drill. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I'd blow it, but I got a mask on. Okay, good.
Look at that. Put it up, take me in.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, we're going to tap out our third and fourth holes. Oil the bit a bit. And again, it's tapered, so to get started, you can kind of hear the cracks when you go back a quarter turn. There we go, pretty much all the way through. Back out.
If this was a blind hole, in other words, it was a hole that was part way into the metal but not all the way through, what you would do is you would start the thread with what he has right there. You'd take that, but you would only go down a certain distance, maybe about 4 or 5 threads, and then you'd take out the bottoming tap, and then you'd use that to finish the job.
We're just going to clean the threads here.
That's what they mean by a blind hole, is a hole that's
Doesn't go all the way through
a metal. Right?
Ah.
Sort of like a little cave as opposed to a tunnel.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to do our fourth hole, re-oil. spin it all the way through, clean up the threads on the way back out, and then we have our fourth hole nicely tapped.
So now you just have the 1032 tap to do in the middle,
Yes.
and right after that we're going to put a countersink into it. Tapered countersink.
So this is a
I think it was 1032, wasn't it?
this is a 1024.
Oh. Well, we wanted a 1032. You want me to go get you one?
The tap.
1032?
The tap.
1032 tap? Okay, I'll go.
So for our center hole, we're using a 1032 tap. This one looks like a
tap is that? That's a bottoming tap, isn't it?
That's actually, yes, it's a bottoming tap.
Do we not have a 1032 taper? Let me go get a taper. You don't want to start with a bottoming tap. It's going to be too hard to wind it up. Maybe pause it and look at it right back.
So we're going to get back at it on our fifth hole. This is a tapered tap, 1032. And just going to oil it up. Make sure it's nice and perpendicular. And then go all the way through again.
Beautiful.
And then back out.
Okay, and the last thing we need to do is put in that piece right there. Basically, this is going to be a countersink, tapered countersink right there, right?
Yep, this is the tapered countersink.
Drill press and just go down, I don't know, a little bit of a ways in there, and you should be good.
Yep, we'll grab a screw and test it out. So we're back on our drill press. We got the countersink in there. We got a flathead screw, which has a little bit of a taper before it gets to the threads. So we're gonna use the countersink to basically shave off a bit of the surface of that metal piece. And then this would sit flush right to the surface. Let's do it. So, I'm gonna plug our drill press back in. All right, hit start. Add a tiny bit of oil. Nope, not that one. Add a tiny bit of oil here. So in this case, we don't know exactly how deep we have to go. So less is more here. We're gonna stop the drill press and try it out. Grab our screwdriver. This is a number 2 Red Robertson. Try and screw it down. So it's not yet sitting flush, so we're gonna countersink it a little bit more. Bring it back over here, line it up, hit start. Try again. Still not quite flush, so back out. Back on the press, line it up, start. Might do it this time. We'll put stop. I'm gonna brush it off a bit.
Looks good.
It looks pretty good this time. Let's try it out.
It looks pretty good.
So let's enter the screw.
So you're trying to get it flush.
We're gonna try and get this, flush with the screw and the surface.
Point.
That is the whole point of this drill. Ooh,
Look at that. How does it
almost
feel?
there.
Almost there.
Still a little.
Just a
Could
hair.
do a little bit more. Yeah.
Just a hair. I love this measuring twice, cutting
So this is
3 times.
critical here.
Yeah, very critical.
Can't overdo it now. We just need to countersink it a little bit more.
Just like
Line it up, hit start. That might be enough. Test it out. Patience is key. All right. Can you see it? No, let's see it. See how flush we get now. Oh, just a little bit more.
oh, you're
So
picky.
close.
I like it.
So close. There's no going back once you go too much.
Yeah, look.
Oh, there we go. This time
How
looks
does it
like
feel?
so close. Could do a little bit more shaving. You tell me, John. You take a feel.
Alright, I'll do that. Okay.
Maybe it's just me.
Maybe it is. Alright, so let's see.
Oh, wait. Let me just clean it up.
Oh, thank you for
There you go.
being concerned about my.
Do a little more, eh?
Yeah, I'd go a little bit more, but I mean that's actually pretty decent.
So the inspector says a little bit more.
Sure. Well, you know what, eh? I mean, you're set up for it. So
Yes.
It's not really hard.
Super close. Be very careful here. Hit the start again.
We're gonna probably run out of electricity in our battery.
That might be it.
For the thing.
Clean this up a bit. Back in. Here we go. I think it's right on now.
Is it? Is it flush?
Still feel a little lip. Do a little more.
Well, if you want to do one more.
This is your new template.
That's true.
It's got to be perfect.
That is true.
All right. This has got to be it. Let's see what happens here. All right, screw going back in. There we go, nice and flush. Check that out, John. And that's it.
That
Drilled
is awesome. I mean, do you know what's funny is some students in the past, they've taken that home. It's almost like they've gone and you know, stuck it on the fridge or something like that.